The Grand Canyon is a river valley in the Colorado Plateau and is famous for its visually overwhelming size as well as intricate and colorful landscape. In addition, it is significant geologically because of the thick sequence of ancient rocks well preserved and exposed in the canyon walls. These rock layers preserve much of the continent's early geological history. And today, we're unveiling a discovery about the giant underground city found by archaeologists under the Grand Canyon. But before we get into it, here's a quick knowledge test. How old is the Grand Canyon? Comment your answers below. Here we begin with our video. The discovery of the hidden city. G.E. Kincaid is the explorer who discovered the great underground citadel of the Grand Canyon during a trip from Green River, Wyoming, down Colorado in a wooden boat to Yuma. It's now regarded by scientists as the oldest archaeological discovery in the United States and one of the most valuable in the world, which was mentioned some time ago in the Gazette. Mr. Kincaid's report. He says the cavern is nearly inaccessible. The entrance is located 1,486 feet down the canyon wall. It is on government property and no visitors are permitted under penalty of trespass. One day he traveled the Colorado River in a boat alone looking for minerals. He noticed stains on the sedimentary formation about 2,000 feet above the riverbed on the east wall of the river, 42 miles upstream from El Tovar Crystal Canyon. The cave's mouth was above a shelf that obscured it from view from the river. There are steps leading from this entrance about 30 yards to what was the river level when the cavern was inhabited. When he noticed the chisel marks on the wall inside the entrance, he became intrigued and went inside, securing his gun. During that journey, he returned several hundred feet along the main passage until he arrived at the crypt, where he discovered the mummies. He stood up and photographed one of these with a flashlight. He gathered several relics, which he transported down Colorado to Yuma, from which he shipped to Washington along with information about the discovery. The hieroglyphics. On all the urns, walls over doorways, and tablets of stone found by the image are the mysterious hieroglyphics. The engraving on the tablets is most likely related to the people's religion. In southern Arizona, similar hieroglyphics have been discovered. Only 2 animals can be found among the pictorial writings. One is of the prehistoric variety. The shrine. 100 feet from the entrance is the cross hall, several hundred feet long, in which the idol or image of the people's god sitting cross-legged with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. The face cast is oriental, as is the carving of this cavern. The idol resembles Buddha, but scientists are still determining what religious worship it represents. However, taking everything discovered thus far into account, it's possible that this worship most closely resembles the ancient Tibetan people. Surrounding this idol are smaller images, some with very beautiful forms, others with crooked-necked and distorted shapes, possibly representing good and evil. 2 large cacti with protruding arms stand on either side of the dais where the god squats. All of this is carved from marble-like hard rock. In addition, copper tools were discovered in the opposite corner of this cross hall. On a bench that ran around the workroom, some charcoal and other material were most likely used in the process. There's also slag and mat-like material indicating that these ancients smelt ores, but no trace of where or how this was done, nor of the ore's origin has been discovered so far. Among the other finds are vases or urns and cups of copper and gold, made very artistic in design. Enameled ware and glazed vessels are among the pottery pieces. Another path leads to granaries similar to those found in Oriental temples. One very large storehouse has yet to be entered because it is 12 feet high and can only be reached from above. 2 copper hooks protrude from the edge, indicating that a ladder was attached. A gray metal is also discovered in the cavern, which perplexes the scientists because its identity is unknown. It's similar to platinum. Cat's eyes, a yellow stone of no great value, are strewn about promiscuously across the floor. Each one is engraved with the head in the Malay type. The passages. The main passageway is about 12 feet wide, narrowing to 9 feet at the far end. The first side passages branch off to the right and left about 57 feet from the entrance, along which are several rooms about the size of ordinary living rooms today, though some are 30 by 40 feet square. These are entered through oval-shaped doors and ventilated through the walls into the passages by round air spaces. The walls are approximately 3 feet 6 inches thick. The passages are chiseled or hewn as straight as an engineer would design. Many of the room's ceilings converge in the center. The side passages near the entrance run at a sharp angle from the main hall, but toward the back, they gradually turn right. The crypt. The tomb, or crypt, where the mummies were discovered is one of the largest chambers, with walls slanting back at an angle of about 35 degrees. There are tiers of mummies on these, each with its own hewn shelf. A small bench with copper cups and broken sword fragments is at the center of each. Some mummies are covered in clay, while the rest are wrapped in a bark fabric. It's worth noting that all of the mummies examined thus far have been male, with no children or females buried here. This leads to the assumption that the outer section was the warriors' barracks. Among the discoveries were no animal bones, skins, clothing, or bedding. Many of the rooms are devoid of everything except water vessels. One room, approximately 40 by 700 feet, was most likely the main dining hall, as cooking utensils were discovered there. What these people ate is unknown, though it is assumed that they came south in the winter and farmed in the valleys before returning north in the summer. The caverns could have comfortably housed up to 50,000 people. According to one theory, the current Indian tribes in Arizona are descended from the cave's serfs or slaves. Undoubtedly, people who reached a high level of civilization lived here thousands of years before the Christian era. The timeline of human history is riddled with gaps. An Indian legend. About this story, it's worth noting that the Hopi Indians have a tradition that their ancestors once lived in an underworld in the Grand Canyon until a schism developed between the good and the bad, the people of one heart and the people of two hearts. Their chief, Macheto, advised them to leave the underworld, but there was no way out. The chief then caused a tree to grow and pierce the underworld's roof, and the people of one heart climbed out. They grew grain and corn along the Paisisvai, or Red River in Colorado. They sent a message to the Temple of the Sun requesting peace, goodwill, and rain for people of one heart. That messenger never returned, but today at sundown in Hopi villages, old men of the tribe can be seen out on the housetops gazing towards the sun, looking for the messenger. When he returns, their lands and ancestral home will be returned to them. That is the custom. Among the animal engravings in the cave is an image of a heart over the spot where it's located. W.E. Rollins, the artist, learned about the legend while living with the Hopi Indians for a year. There are two theories about the Egyptians' origins. One theory holds that they originated in Asia, while another holds that the racial cradle was in the Upper Nile region. Hiren, an Egyptologist, believed that the Egyptians were of Indian origin. The Grand Canyon discoveries may shed more light on human evolution and prehistoric ages. Also, the answer to the question we've asked is, as per some reports, the Grand Canyon is 70 million years old. Comment your views and subscribe for more.